What do you mean by growth and development? Differentiate between growth and development. OR. Differentiate between growth and development. OR. Write a note on the concept of growth and development. Meaning of growth. By growth means physical change. The changes that takes place in any part of the body are known as growth. The increase in height of the child, his mass, width and his weight are results of growth. The size of the child's hands and feet is increasing. He is growing in height. His weight is increasing. There are proportionate changes occurring in his physical structure. In simple words, changes in the physical structure, size and dimensions result from growth. Physical growth is the mark of quantitative changes. Growth is perceivable and measurable. Growth is tangible in nature and always stop after adolescence. Hence, it is clear that changes that occur in the physical structure, size and dimensions are called growth. Women have faster growth rate than men. Meaning of development. Development means progress. The overall changes that come about in the child are called development. Development continues throughout life. The child's physical, intellectual, social, emotional, moral, sexual, etc. belong to the developmental process. Development is both in qualitative and quantitative in nature. Development is a continuous process, it does not stop after maturation. It cannot be measured. Development can be assessed through observation or experience. Like growth, development has its own nature. Development has its definite pattern. It occurs always from general to specific. In fact, the term development is used for all types of changes which makes a person's working efficiency, working skill and his behavior etc. progressive. Hence, the meaning of development is more comprehensive than the growth. Differentiate between growth and development. Meaning. Growth means physical change. Physical change like increase in height, weight etc. Development means progress. Progress means overall change in the human being. Scope. Growth is narrow in scope. Because growth is a part of development. Development is broader in scope. Because development includes growth. Nature. It is quantitative in nature. It is both quantitative and qualitative in nature. Continuity. Growth stops or slows down in adulthood. It is not a lifelong process. Development continues from birth till death. It is a lifelong process. Measurement. Growth refers to the size, weight, height, etc. Such changes can be measured. Development includes from birth till death. It is a lifelong process. Tangible. Intangible. Growth is tangible. Anybody can also be seen visually. Development is both tangible and intangible. It is tangible because it includes growth and intangible because the emotions, social or moral value are only experienced. Changes in particular aspect. Growth may be referred to describe changes which takes place in particular aspects of the body and behavior of an organism. Development describes the changes in the organism as a whole and does not list the changes in parts. Comprehensive. Growth is less comprehensive process than development. Development is more comprehensive process than growth and progress process also. General principles of growth and development. Principle of continuity. Development is a continuous process and lifelong process. The pace of development is not consistent in all children. Various ups and downs occur in development also. This principle also clarifies that any changes does not occur suddenly or at once. The change which appears today which have started occurring sometime earlier. Principle of individual differences. According to this principle, these exists in each child, individual differences at different stages of development. Each child grows at his own unique pace and has an individual aspect of his development. Each dimension of the children's development has some specific characteristics that distinguish one child from the other. Individual difference can be seen even in twins also. All the children don't have similarity in the context of growth and development. Principle of joint product of heredity and environment. Heredity and environment are complementary to each other. Growth and development is a combination of heredity and environment definitely affect the growth and development of the child. Heredity and development is considered as the foundation of child's personality. Principle of maturation and learning. Maturation and learning play an important role in the process of growth and development. A child requires maturity for any task, but it is not essential that maturity would be appropriate for some other task also. Hence, the maturity level of the children also have differences. These differences or variations affect the learning process. Principle to think from concrete to abstract. According to this principle, child tries to understand cause and effect. He thinks about the objects from concrete to abstract. Principle of uniform pattern. Uniformity is seen in the process of development besides too many individual differences. But his uniformity exists in the context of development. We see that the milk teeth of the children fall at first and other fall afterwards. Other example is language development in children occurs within a certain definite sequence, to whatsoever country these children belong. The physical development of these children will take place in a different sequence. Hence, the development of the members of the same race occurs in a different sequence or pattern. Principle of development from general to specific. According to this principle, the child learns initially general behavior, then gradually that general behavior advances towards specifically. For example, first of all the child tries to catch, hold the object and he uses his hands randomly to do so. But gradually he moves from generality to specificity. Principle of predictability of development. It has been proved by studies that development can be predicted. For example, it is possible to predict that child's intelligence, personality, interests, capabilities, capacities, etc. It is more easily predictable for children whose mental development falls within the normal range rather than for those whose mental development shows marked deviation from the average. Principle of variation in the rate of growth and development. There are various stages of growth and development. All those stages have different pace of growth and development, i.e. pace of growth and development is not uniform in those stages. During the initial stages, the rate of physical growth is faster but slows down later on. But then a stage comes when the growth ceases to occur. But the qualitative development occurs. Principle of total development. The development of the human body occurs as a whole. The development of the various aspects of human personality goes on occurring, such as social, mental, physical, emotional development. It is also true that all the aspects depend upon the development of each other and are related to each other. Principle of development direction. The development of the child follows an orderly pattern. This pattern is of two kinds. Cephalocaudal sequence. This principle points towards development. According to this sequence, the head of the child develops first of all the womb, followed by the trunk. Last of all develops the child's legs. Proximo-distal sequence. According to this principle, the child's development follows proximo-distal sequence. This means that it proceeds from the center to the peripheral areas of the body. The first to develop the adjoining parts like the heart, the chest, etc. Finally, the child develops control over the farther parts of the body like legs, feet, fingers, etc. In this way, the child develops in a proximo-distal sequence. Principle of integration. According to this principle, the child first learns the use of the whole organ, then his specific parts. Then he learns to integrate those parts. For example, first of all the child moves his entire hand, then gradually he moves entire hand, then his fingers and then integrates the movements of entire hand and fingers. Principle of cumulation and recapitulation. Development is cumulative. Experiences have a great importance in the process of development. The behavior is based on prior experiences. Experiences never lose their validity. They manifest in future behavior. Therefore, development is cumulative. The attributes of one stage are transferred into another stage. Principles of outer control to inner control. Small children depend on others for values and principles. As they grow up, their own value system, self-consciousness and their own set or group of internal control develop. Principle of correlation. According to this principle, there is a correlation in the various dimensions of the child's growth and development. A child who is physically handicapped will also be socially handicapped. A child whose intellectual development is above average, his social development too will be above average. In this way, the principle of correlation holds good in the development of the child. Rate of growth and development in male-female. The rate of growth and development differs in the male and the female children. For example, the girls enter adolescence faster than the boys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share for more videos.